Welcome to Faith and Freedom. For the next few minutes, we hope to inform, inspire, and encourage you as we discuss the legal victories and challenges to your fundamental freedoms and religious liberties. Faith and Freedom comes to you from Liberty Counsel, a civil liberties education and legal defense organization. Join us now as Matt Staver, the President and General Counsel of Liberty Counsel, explains the latest legal issues all across this country in the courtrooms of America. Liberty Counsel is winning the battle for your constitutional freedoms.
Largest pink ribbon breast cancer organization caught giving millions of dollars to abortion provider Planned Parenthood. I'm Matt Barber, Director of Cultural Affairs with Liberty Counsel and Associate Dean with Liberty University School of Law. And joining me in studio today is Shawn Akers, Dean of Liberty's Helms School of Government and Policy Analyst with Liberty Counsel. And we are in for Matt Staver today. And Shawn, this is just really unbelievable news. The word irony applies here, but it applies with tragic consequences, unfortunately. Susan G. Komen for the Cure, it's an organization which claims to be the world's largest grassroots network fighting for the cure for breast cancer, has been giving, it turns out, millions of dollars to the abortion provider Planned Parenthood. In at least 22 states, Komen affiliates have sent donations to Planned Parenthood, and last year these donations added up just in 1 year to nearly $750,000 for the past 5 years. This breast cancer awareness organization has reached a staggering $3 million in donations, according to Life Issues Institute. And here's where the irony comes in, Shawn. There are multiple studies and a growing number of studies that indicate a direct link between abortion and breast cancer. A study published in the Journal of American Physicians and Surgeons found in 2007 that women who have an abortion increase their risk of getting breast cancer by 40%. Wow. That is staggering. And Shawn, you have to ask the question, what is this breast cancer organization that is trying to prevent breast cancer doing, giving these millions upon millions of dollars to an organization that is helping to cause breast cancer by facilitating millions of abortions every year?
Well, Matt, there are a variety of problems, very troubling problems with this scenario. You've got a group that, remember, the Susan G. Komen for the Cure group gets its money from folks making tax-deductible donations to it. Mm-hmm. When you do that, you're doing that because you're trying, in your mind, you're translating dollars into a cure for breast cancer, or hopefully a cure for breast cancer at some point in the future. To come back and find out that not only were your dollars not spent, or some portion of them not spent on breast cancer research and not on administration, they're forgivable, but literally were turned around and given as a donation to Planned Parenthood. Mm-hmm. Not in the minds of those who made the original donation. It's not like, like the Susan Komen Foundation is doing with their own money what they think is best. They're using the donations of others that were given to cure breast cancer to fund Planned Parenthood, which, as you pointed out, ironically, we're seeing that abortion itself is a link to breast cancer.
Yeah. Well, Shawn, I mean, to use an analogy here, that's like, people donating money, for instance, to, a civil rights organization. There aren't many that are really objective out there, but let's just say people donating money to the NAACP, thinking that money is going to go to support causes furthering advancement for African Americans. And then it turns out that the NAACP has been funneling that money into the Ku Klux Klan. How do you think those individuals would feel? That's I think an applicable comparison here. This is reprehensible when you think about it. Many people who donate money, time, energy, but particularly who donate their hard-earned money to organizations like the Susan G. Komen for the Cure have been touched by breast cancer personally. A family member, maybe they themselves have lived with breast cancer. They have lost a family member to breast cancer. It is reprehensible that the dollars they are giving, that this organization will be taking those dollars and giving to an organization that, again, is involved in the abortion industry, which, again, demonstrably increases the spread breast cancer across the country. I think it's reprehensible.
Well, it is, and it is on, like I said, just on the issue of fairness in their advertising and what the reasonable expectations of those making donations. We're not talking about small amounts of money, Matt. We're talking about, like you said, just at $750,000 in 1 year, and over a 5-year period, you're looking at $3 million. Now, if the Susan G. Komen Group has so much extra cash that they're not spending on breast cancer research, then we probably need to know why, and why you're still fundraising under the pretenses of doing that and turning around and funneling $3 million to abortion groups. This is not something that's in the minds of those who, like you point out, this is especially tragic because most of the folks that are making the larger donations to these groups, they have been touched by breast cancer. They've lost somebody. This, in their minds, quite often, is a way to combat the thing that took somebody from them, and now it's being funneled out to take others out of the world rather than bring healing.
How do you think they would feel to find out that the money that they have been giving has very potentially actually increased through funneling it into Planned Parenthood, has actually increased or helped to cause breast cancer in others? And that's when you boil it down. That's what it amounts to. Well, Shawn, you have to ask why. Now, why would an organization that purports to fight breast cancer and seeks a cure for breast cancer, why would they actually be engaging in behavior that helps to facilitate and cause breast cancer through their donations to Planned Parenthood? This is political correctness. Again, run amok. Political correctness creates a barrier to reality. And the abortion is a sacred cow among the left. It is viewed as both a right, constitutional right, which it is not, some phantom constitutional right, and a rite of passage, R-I-T-E, for feminists. So I think that this is purely political, clearly political. And you have to understand, even organizations, according to Life News, for instance, like the National Cancer Institute, despite the overwhelming evidence to the contrary and mounting studies that continue to show demonstrably a link between abortion and breast cancer, they continue to deny the link and still continue to support abortion, clearly one of the leading causes of breast cancer. So again, you have to ask why it's this notion of political correctness.
It is, Matt. I mean, when you get to this level, you're talking about groups that are trying to influence each other and make deals to come out to, in their mind, some greater good. The problem is you're using donations from folks that trusted you to do a particular thing with them to cut these political deals, and that's not acceptable. But here's the wonderful side of it. If there is a silver lining, it's this, that when Liberty Counsel comes out and they say blatantly that Susan G. Komen for the Cure should apologize for the misuse of these funds and points it out to our listeners, that empowers you to become a policymaker in a very real sense. We've talked about this in the past, that there are several ways to vote, and one is with your dollars, where you voted for the Susan G. Komen for the Cure group in the past by giving them donations. Now you can pick up the phone and call them and say, look, we found out you're funding abortion, and that's not why we were sending you money.
Right. Until
you get this straightened out and apologize for it. And, I'd also suggest seeking a refund from Planned Parenthood. I don't know that we're going to support your group anymore. Yeah. We'll support another one that will use our money to support cancer research.
Well, they need to apologize.
They do need to apologize.
And people listening right now should keep the pressure on. It's the Susan G. Komen for the Cure is the name of the organization. And frankly, Shawn, the National Cancer Institute needs to apologize. Just in they don't have much more time because the mounting evidence weighs in favor of the simple reality that there isn't a direct link between abortion and breast cancer. In the last 18 months alone, 5 studies have come out demonstrating an increased risk. Again, all landing at that same statistically significant figure of about a 40% increase. So not only are these studies showing the same thing, they're consistent in terms of the increased risk. Well, folks, at Liberty Counsel, we are alert. We are looking for these types of inconsistencies and really just this type of unconscionable behavior in the name of the so-called constitutional right of abortion, which appears, of course, nowhere in the Constitution. We are able to do what we do due to gifts from people like you. To learn more about how you can become part of the Liberty Counsel ministry, go to lc.org or give us a call at 1-800-671-1776. Join with us as we stand together in defense of life.
You have been listening to Matt Staver of Liberty Counsel. Our hope is to encourage and inspire you to stand up for your faith, family, and freedoms. We can accomplish a lot when we work together. Get informed and get involved today. Sign up for our free monthly newsletter, The Liberator. We will send it out to you free of charge. Stay informed with our Liberty Alert email update. Just click on the website at www.lc.org or call us at 1-800-671-1776. Tune in next time to learn more about your rights right here on Faith and Freedom.